Hi there, Jonny here from JonnyLipshamStudios.co.uk, and in today's video we are going to take a look at the brand newly released Spring Reverb plugin from Klanghelm. It's called Tens, and this one is the free version of it, and it's called Tens Jr. And I'm going to give you a quick guided tour of this very simple but very effective and very nice sounding plugin. And it is absolutely free of charge. You can go over to klanghelm.com and you can get this right now. And it's very cool. It has a pre-delay knob here and a mix knob, and then this decay slider here. And this is pretty cool. And there's this modulation button as well. Which to be fair, I don't really know what this does particularly, but it sounds pretty good. And then you've got this stereo or mono switch here. Now this is important to be aware of, because if you are putting this plugin on a mono source, you must remember to flip this down to mono. It is in the mono position by default, but it is easy to forget which it needs to be on. So if you are using a send like I am here in Studio One, make sure that it is in the stereo position. So this is the stereo symbol here. Make sure that it is in the stereo position. And then you've got this character switch here from warm to bright. And I have put this across most of the sources in this little tune here. And I'm going to show you just a little bit of the character, and then we'll take a look at individual sources, and we'll adjust this decay so you can see kind of how long the decay tail can be versus how short. Now, this is on a 0.5 to 20 scale, and I believe this is milliseconds. So I think it's milliseconds. It might actually be seconds, actually. I think it goes up to seconds. Now, there is one way in which we can test this, and that is to take the drums, for example, over here, and I did not want the EQ to plugin open. That's okay. And we can solo up the drums. And we can open this up. And we'll let it decay. Yeah, it's definitely going to be seconds rather than milliseconds, I would say. So let's put this back down to around about 2-ish. And this is on its brightest setting. So if we move this down to warm, have a listen to this. A little bit darker. And that puts it in the center. So there's not quite so much low end going through this when you put this in the brightest character setting. But if you put this on the warm setting, you get plenty of the darker sounds of the snare drum and the kick drum. And not so much of the hi-hat. But you can really hear the boinginess of the spring of the reverb in this. It's very cool. I quite like this. So you can adjust, if you've got this on the send, you can obviously adjust how much is going to it. And especially on a stereo source, you can pan it, you can pan the effect as well, which is very useful to be able to do. So let's listen to this in the context of a whole mix of a piece. And I've just basically thrown this together in the 5 minutes before hitting record here. All right, so it sounds particularly effective as far as I'm concerned on this Fender Rhodes, because this Fender Rhodes is kind of doing some kind of spacey kind of things anyway. Yeah, sounds very effective on that. So so I really like this. I'm not a massive fan of reverb as a whole, just broadly in general. I much prefer kind of more dry sounds, and maybe I will use delays as opposed to reverbs. But if I want things to be set further back in the mix, then yes, I will use reverbs to help achieve that effect. So this is very, very cool. With this single slider, it's very simple to operate. And then you've got the pre-delay, which again, probably best shown with the drums. And you can really hear the modulator, this modulator really going to town with the pre-delay cranked. So on the repeats, you hear the snare drum sound really kind of weird and flangy, which for certain applications, that might be a really cool thing that you might want to do. Yeah, kind of sounds very weird. And then with it off, I prefer giving it a little bit of a pre-delay, and maybe like 10 or 15 milliseconds of a pre-delay. And again, if you're going to use this on a send, then make sure you've got this, excuse me, make sure you've got this set to 100% wet. And then there's this useful on-off button. So if you're wanting to bypass, it's pretty easy. And there we are with the dry. And back in. So for this demonstration, I've made it not very subtle, to be really honest with this particular piece of music. But like I said, panning kind of does have its applications as well. So if we were to go and check out this guitar and solo this up, you can see I've actually panned the reverb over in this case. That's the wrong track. There we go. And by panning the effect of the guitar, the reverb of the guitar, whilst panning the actual guitar itself, kind of just gives it a little bit more space. If I just really push this right over, you'll see. So there you go. So that is the Tens Jr. Like I said, this one is free. There is a paid version of this as well, which has, as with most of the Klanghelm plugins, you get kind of 3 different versions of this in one plugin. Just like for the MJUC, you get like 3 different compressor models inside the one compressor. So you get the same here with this with the reverb with the paid version. But this is just like one of the, I think this is actually an amalgamation of 2 of the variations that you get with the paid version. So this is definitely well worth picking up because it's free and it's Klanghelm, and Klanghelm plugins are just genuinely pretty awesome. I have a few of their plugins already. This video was not sponsored by Klanghelm at all. I have no affiliation with Klanghelm at all. I am just doing a review of this. I don't do reviews very often. In fact, I think the last product review I did was maybe about 4 years ago for the PreSonus HD7 and HD9 headphones. But I don't tend to do plugin reviews unless I stumble across something that I really actually genuinely like. And in this case, yes, I really actually genuinely like this and am actually using it on projects, including this one. So please do go grab this for free. I think you will enjoy using it if you're into spring reverbs. All right, so that is it for this video. Please hit the like button if you like this video. And please subscribe if you have not subscribed already. And I do 2 week shows. I do a Songwriting Simplified show on a Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central Time for all kind of questions. I take questions on songwriting, composing, arranging, and music theory and that kind of stuff in that show. And then, of course, there is my Sunday Night Live, which has been running for nearly 7 years now. Every Sunday night at the same time, 6 p.m. Central, back here on this channel. And we discuss all things Studio One, and I take your Studio One questions as well. So if you're brand new to Studio One, then this is ideal for you, and we will cover any issues or any topics or anything that you want to know about Studio One. And even if you're not brand new to Studio One and you've been using it for years, and you found something that you didn't realize was there before, then great, come and share that in the show as well. And it will be fantastic for you to be a part of that and subscribe. When you subscribe to the channel, you automatically will be able to take part in the chat because it's subscriber only chat for both shows. All right, so thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye for now.